Call the meeting to order. We'll skip establishing a quorum since we have all members here present and accounted for. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Boys over here, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No one signed up to address the board, it looks like, so we will move on to item 5, approval of the minutes of the May 26th meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And I won't do roll call unless I have a split vote due to everyone being present. Now to the approval
You're
of the
welcome.
Sorry.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. We need some lightheartedness.
Yeah.
Approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. There were no new conflicts of interest presented to the board. Moving on to item 8A through D, approval of the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now to the reports of the president. First up, we have Southeast Tech Phase Plan to reopen campus. Benjamin Valdez.
Good afternoon, President Nicholson, members of the board. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to speak to you today. We wanted to speak to you about how we plan to reopen campus following the COVID-19 situation. One of the things that we have done to respond and ensure that we are doing what is appropriate is we have formulated a COVID-19 task force. The task force is made up of leadership from the campus, faculty, staff, and members of the community representing Navarra, Sanford primarily, and then individuals from the Sioux Falls School District as well. The process was to bring these individuals together to talk about different methods of reopening campus, what's going to be in the best interest, and evaluate all of the data that's out there. One of the challenges that we face and obstacles is the data is constantly changing. The recommendations change, what we think is happening today. So having some experts from the outside assist us and guide us, we thought would really be a good way of ensuring that what we do and the way we move forward would be appropriate. We've actually broken down the reopening of campus into 3 distinct phases. Phase 1 started as of July 1st, and that would to bring limited individuals on campus. Campus still being closed to the public, and I'll get into more detail in a little bit. Phase 2 would be the month of July, where we start to expand from staff would be on campus, and then followed by Phase 3, which would be in August, which would be reopening the campus to the public. So how do each of these phases really look? With Phase 1, we are continuing with our instructional program online. So all of our summer courses will remain online. We just, as of yesterday, allowed students to go, or I'm sorry, as of Monday, on the day behind here. So as of Monday, put some components in place to allow students to return to clinicals at the hospital settings as they've kind of opened up as well. We've also brought back a limited number of directors and support staff onto campus so that we can start to look at our protocols to ensure that they are following, and then we'll continue this process for the whole month of June. Right now, for Phase 1, the campus will continue to remain closed to the public, and as we prepare for it to reopen. Things that we're looking to implement is installing signage on floors, on doors, different places like that, ensuring that we have proper supplies for masks, hand sanitizers, looking at checking temperatures, filling out health forms on individuals so that we can ensure that we're following the guidelines and that we're ensuring that everything is flowing appropriately. And we're kind of using this test to see how things kind of flow and if we have any gaps that we need to address. Again, Phase 2 will start in the month of July, and that's where we really start to open up the campus more to staff, to faculty, and really start to get things opened up for more of a normal start from July for students and the public. Phase 2, again, we're going to have pretty much all staff and everybody report back We're going to provide all faculty and staff with face cloth masks so they can wear face cloth masks and figure those would be the easiest. They can rewash them. We're going to go ahead and provide some training for faculty and staff. You'll have a presentation here in a little bit regarding the training we're providing students that are going back to clinicals by Ms. Jackie Kramer and Ruby Pistardo. And we'll also start the process of evaluating faculty and staff through the medical assessment forms that we're working with the Varian Stanford to develop and ensure that we're doing these appropriately. The biggest thing we're going to be doing is educate everyone on what we need to watch for. A lot of information's out there, but in reiterating, as things have become more refined by the CDC and the health department, things we really need to ensure that we're staying on top of and that people understand what they need to watch in case they become symptomatic. If a faculty or staff member does indicate that they are symptomatic, we're trying to look at process for establishing guidelines for them to make sure that they're staying safe, that they're seeking medical attention, and that we're following the guidance. Again, one of the challenges we're seeing, there's a lot of individuals who were on a call today with the other technical anthropologist, and one of the VPs said her daughter is just tested positive, but has had absolutely zero signs, no fever, no cough, absolutely nothing. It was a fluke that she was tested and that came back positive. So how do we make sure everyone stays safe? Because we want to make sure faculty, staff, students all remain safe. Phase 3 is where we really start to open up the campus to the public. We start to open up the campus to students and providing that traditional face-to-face interaction with the public and with our students. We really feel it is important that we have this traditional opening and traditional starting office. Southeast Tech, and if you look at the programs and the students that come to Southeast Tech, they're very hands-on. The students like the interaction. They really crave that one-on-one facilitation of instruction from their instructors. And our programs are such that they do require that face-to-face, one-on-one at times instruction to really get to the program. So we want to make sure we continue to support that and that it goes through as smooth as possible. Things that we're going to really look at, and we're going to start to look at, is implementing distance learning within classroom. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. Moving classrooms around, lecture-based courses, minimizing the time on campus by using more of a hybrid model, and then ensuring that we have sufficient supplies of hand sanitizer, wipes, and everything for the campus. We're also working on the communications and training component. Talked a little bit about the training earlier, and then Ruby and Jackie will talk more about that in a little bit as well. And then the communication, making sure that we have that constant communication going out to the faculty and staff, that they are aware of what is going on. We're starting that actually with our first campus-wide Teams meeting tomorrow afternoon, where we start to really get faculty and staff to see what we're trying to do and get them prepared for what we're headed. So at this point, I'd like to kind of turn this over to Ms. Fisher, Megan Fisher, to talk about the enrollment and how we're working to continue to build enrollment for our new programs, the new program being paramedic and development of the respiratory therapist program for next year, and then expanding our opportunities within dual enrollment within local high schools, where we continue to foster those partnerships and work with them, that students see those opportunities. And then working within the Sioux Falls School District with both the classroom to careers and the Varian Academy, that students here continue to really have those opportunities to be on campus and take dual enrollment courses to get that jump start.
Hi. Noon. Yeah, so it's been an interesting spring for recruiting students to Southeast Tech. I just want to touch base with you about our enrollment a little bit. I don't have specific numbers to share with you, but I can tell you that we are actually tracking a little bit up from where we have been over last year even, and we were up last year. So that's a good sign. Now, what everyone is, right, the $1 million question is, will everybody show up? What will we see in terms of melt and people's decisions come fall? So right now we're sitting in a good place and we feel good about that. And when we talk about those phased openings for enrollment management, so phase one is what we're in right now, and we've been working really hard to get our areas, which are going to see, right, the bulk of visitors to campus this summer, get us ready to roll. Our staff haven't missed a beat in terms of processing applications, packaging, financial aid, all of those things as they've been working from home, and that's great. But now that we're in summer, we always have a lot of people in the summertime, and especially this summer, we're gonna decide, hey, I think it's a good time for me to go back, retool, gain some new skills, that sort of thing. So it's really important that we're gonna be open. So we've been working with a local vendor in terms of getting sneeze guards for all of our front desks, all of our staff in our areas who meet one-on-one in their offices with students, which is most of our staff in enrollment management. We'll have sneeze guards as well. Like Benjamin said, we will have the directional signage. We're expanding our lobby area so we have plenty of space. And one thing we'll be doing is communicating with students when they have scheduled appointments. We always communicate with them, right? Like a doctor's office, reminders that you have an appointment. But we'll also be letting them know what to expect when they come to campus so that we're fully prepared. We'll limit the number of people in an office. So sometimes, we might have a family come in or a mom with 3 or 4 kids along. We want them to know that we're not too keen on that right now. We're always going to work with our students as much as possible because we do serve such a wide variety of individuals. So we don't want to turn anyone away, but we're going to do our best to be proactive with our communication to folks. The other thing that we'll have set up is that one point of entrance into our building, scanning temperatures, all of those things when people come in. So we're working on all that right now, so we're ready to go come after July 4th weekend, and we'll be bringing some of our staff back to meet with people. And that's usually when we see our recruitment rev up in the summer, is after July 4th, when people start already thinking about fall and heading back to school, right? I know I run out and get my kids school supplies. Not that I'm anxious to get them back to school, mind you, but I think we'll see a lot of people. I am anxious.
This year especially.
Yeah, this year especially.
I may or may not already have their school supplies bought for next year. But yeah, so come July, we'll have it in place. We'll have staff back ready to meet with students and be prepared. And then come August, when we hit that phase 3, I'm just really expecting a lot of traffic. We always see a lot of traffic, so we want to be ready, and I think we'll be in a good place for that. The other thing that we're keeping our eye on is the fall recruiting season. I hope schools are going to be willing to send their students for on-campus tours, all those types of things, but of course it's something we're not ready to make a decision about right now. We need to monitor and see what's going to happen. Will the sanctioned college fairs happen this fall? Will they let us into high schools to recruit? That will change our recruiting for next academic year significantly. So we're already planning out what our plan A, plan B, plan C would be. Can we host smaller groups, just more of those events? If we have to go online, what will that look like? We're already working on more virtual tours, that sort of thing that we could share with people that way too. So that's where we're at with enrollment management right now. Fingers crossed, we're looking pretty good for fall, and just every day's a new adventure and new news. So we just keep adjusting, and I have to hand it to our staff. They've been really good at communicating with students, and we just continue, even revved up our communication with the prospects even more. For videos and things like that to try to keep our funnel going and keep, we hear that not as many people want to move away for school, so we're trying to take advantage of that too, letting them know how they can get in and get some of their classes done this fall or online if that's what they choose to do. Mm-hmm. Any questions for enrollment management?
I guess just as a whole, we talked about the temperature scans and all the additional equipment and so forth. If Benjamin or you could even talk to what funding we're using to pay for those services.
Yep. I think do you want to take that? We've got a couple different sources coming to us, but obviously we've got that second part of the CARES funding coming our way that we've been strategizing as a VP group in terms of technology. And I hope Eric's going to share some of that as well. So some of these things that we're putting in place is not, it sounds like, according to Rich, I should He's not here today. But yeah, my understanding is that we're going to have some funding coming in so that we can be prepared for the students. So,
I think I would just, I wonder, I'm curious, it'll be interesting to track the numbers, and I'm sure you're probably thinking the same thing, is, you know, especially with the focus on the healthcare industry right now and, you know, loss of employment for, you know, many people in our state. I wonder if we will see some of those numbers jump up if people will say, well, hell, you know, heck, the healthcare industry is a place to be, and, you know, we always need healthcare workers. And so I just wonder if we'll see an uptick in those programs.
yep, and actually what we're looking at, we, as you know, we partner with Lawrence and Schiller with our marketing, and we're actually going to be launching a new campaign for Southeast Tech. And really what we're focusing on is not just healthcare, but we prepare essential workers across the board for the most part. And so I think we do have a lot of people looking at us. And so we are going to be stressing that through our marketing campaign and the efforts that
I
we're
hadn't even
launching
thought about that, but of
this
course,
summer.
yeah, all of our other programming.
I feel like just like social distancing wasn't really a thing, neither were essential workers, you know? And so now it's interesting to kind of see the spin on that and, oh, am I in a job that if other things shut down, you know, what opportunities might I have to continue having an income and, you know, caring for my family and things like that. So, yeah.
Yep.
Well, and on a note with that, I congratulate, even though we've been going through this, I know the foundation just received their largest gift, and so that's going to allow more opportunity for more students to attend Southeast Tech through that generous gift. And I don't know, is Stephen going to report on that, or is it going to be in a board report? Because Bob just emailed me today. This gift came in that's going to have some scholarships. So even with the shutdown, we're having generous donations being made to Southeast Tech to allow more students to attend at a reduced cost. So that'll be fabulous.
And we've got our scholarships awarded. South Dakota this year was all sponsored students for the first time ever with Southeast Tech. So those have been awarded foundation scholarships. Those awards have just gone out. So feel good about that. Students are accepting them. They're eager to get started. So,
Awesome.
We're eager
Great
to
job.
serve them.
yeah, we're eager to serve them.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
The other thing that I really wanted to talk about was the restructuring within academic affairs. Over the last year, we have really been working with the VP group, and I've been working with these limited resources that academic leadership had, and really looking at how do we restructure. Well, the catalyst for a lot of this is now the name change. As we transition from Southeast Tech to Southeast Technical College, we're going to take on that flavor, the look, and the feel of how colleges and universities really operate. So to make this happen, well, one of the things that we're going to be doing, and Rich kind of briefly spoke about some of these things last week when we were doing presentation on the budget, but we're going to be adding a third dean of curriculum and instruction. Right now we have two of them. They're both extremely overworked, and it's very difficult to manage the number of programs we have, and the fact that we're adding 3 new programs this academic year, and we're looking at another 3 or so programs next year in 2021. So being able to properly supervise and manage that, we need to add a third dean of curriculum instruction. The new dean will oversee the health services division, which includes early childhood and law enforcement, all the business programs, accounting, business administration, marketing, the media design and communications division, our engineering technology division, which is our civil, architectural, land survey programs, and then information technology, which includes our computer information systems, mechatronics, and networking. So still a large amount that we're still overseeing, but it's a lot more manageable now with the number of faculty and students in these programs. Dr. Craig Peters is one of our current deans of curriculum instruction. He's going to remain in that position. Refocus Craig. Craig will oversee pretty much all of our industrial technology and trades programs. So industrial technology covers our HVAC, plumbing, electrical, construction, the horticulture department, in transportation technology, which is our automotive piece and collision. And then the newest program, one of the newest programs is veterinary technician, we'll oversee that. That's actually part of industrial technology, because we kind of follow how the CTE codes go. But we're toying whether that goes under health or trades. They have this in place, and we put it over there. And then Craig will overtake corporate education. And we're seeing that in building our corporate education outreach and working with the community on what. Ms. Kristen Paseo, one of our deans of curriculum instruction, has traditionally overseen just the nursing program. That's going to expand. Kristen's going to transition and start to see over all of our health programs. So that's our sonography programs, our new dental assisting program starts this fall, phlebotomy, pharmatech, medical assisting, EMDT, and then she'll also continue to oversee the nursing. To help with that, because of some of the regulations for the nursing accreditation in the State Board of Nursing, we've actually promoted Ms. Jacqueline Kramer, which we'll get to hear from here shortly. Ms. Kramer is going to be an associate dean of curriculum instruction, and she will take on that leadership role overseeing our RN, LPN programs and the CNA course within that. With the retirement of Tracy Nollner, that kind of left a huge gap and trying to fill a lot of things he does, we promoted Phoenicia Foster into the position of Associate Dean of Curriculum Instruction. She's going to take on the lead and oversee all of our institutional effectiveness, campus assessment, and accreditation, both chromatic and regional accreditation for the Higher Learning Commission. And she's also going to oversee the Perkins Consortium position as well. And then Jackie Palmer, who's always been in a support role within academics, will take on a chair role at the Academic Instruction Faculty Support Chair. And she's going to really focus on really being there to ensure faculty training and development is being taken and is really robust. She's also going to take on all of our technical support for our online programs and learning management system and helping get everything set there. And then also all of our academic scheduling. As you can imagine, 51 different programs, trying to schedule and plan out the days and when classes run can be a mess. She's actually really great at it, so she's going to continue in that role. And then we have two current department chairs, Nick Schneider and Jason Merritt. Both of them will continue as program chairs. Nick will work with the new dean, and Jason will work with Craig Peters, Dr. Peters. So here's just kind of an infographic kind of showing the academic structure and kind of how things and where things will kind of lie, and how we're planning to kind of fill in a lot some of the gaps that we traditionally had at Southeast Tech, and really allow more time to be out in the community, work with recruitment, and working on being able to get the word out on the phenomenal things that are happening at Southeast Tech. Questions regarding this?
Lots of changes, but lots of good changes to kind of put the focus on specific programs that we're growing, and we want to have them start off as a strong program and continue that growth. And so it's good that you have kind of rearranged people into different positions and maybe bringing some fresh ideas and new perspectives to those programs that have been around for a while too. And I think organizing them in a way that makes sense so that, you know, the person who's in charge of that kind of has all those same types of models or types of things that they're looking at for their programs that are very similar, and not having to think one way for one and then kind of flipping over and thinking about something different for another. So yeah, exciting changes, and I'm confident that the enrollment will continue to fill in those as there's great needs in our community for many of them.
Mm-hmm. Especially with the addition of programs, it makes sense at some point it would become unsustainable for one person to oversee multiples as they keep adding, so it makes sense.
And a lot of this is also tied to the Higher Learning Commission and their criterion for accreditation. Some of the things that we are mandated to do that'll ensure that we can do them appropriately and be successful at it and show growth within the programs and the institutions.
Are you asking for a board action approval of that?
Just to acknowledge.
Just
acknowledge this.
Move to acknowledge.
Second.
I have a motion to acknowledge in a second. All those in favor? I should check. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We acknowledge the report.
I'd like to introduce Ms. Jacqueline Kramer and Ruby Casardo. Ms. Jacqueline Kramer is again our newest Associate Dean of Curriculum and Instruction. And Ruby Casardo is our faculty member, director of our Search and Protect program. They want to talk about the training that we've been putting students through and developing for getting students out into clinical. That's been very, very critical for us. We had 30 days where students were pulled out of the clinical sites. It did cause a little angst with some students, understandably, being pulled out of what they are coming to school to learn. But we want to make sure that they were safe, they're protected, and that we're doing what's right for them, for that facility, because we would hate to introduce virus into the facility to both staff and patients. We want to make sure we do it properly.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So thanks for having us. We just wanted to touch base a little bit on the training we're doing for students. And so I put this PowerPoint together. I'm not going to go through it all with you guys because most of us in this room are probably very hypersensitive to COVID-19. Our concern is that some of our students are not. They're not educating themselves. They're not paying attention to the news. So we just wanted to put together a very simple PowerPoint, let them know the very basics of what COVID-19 is, some of the symptoms, what you can do if you have those symptoms. So that's kind of what this PowerPoint is. Like I said, I don't want to go through it all with you because this will most likely be very much review for most of you. So it's a very quick PowerPoint, just 9 slides. If you are sick, what they should do, protecting yourself and others, so things they should do to protect themselves, such as washing hands, wearing a face covering. And then I also just wanted to put in here for them that this is a very fluid situation. So as we know, things change daily when it comes to COVID-19. And so we just want students to be aware of that just because we say it today, we might change it tomorrow because we need to. So we want them to be very aware of that, especially if they are not on campus. Especially in the healthcare setting, we have a lot of students who are in hospitals, not just in South Dakota. So Minnesota, Iowa, sometimes even further out, such as Colorado, sometimes even. So we want them to be very aware of what's going on, not just for being on campus, but also in those healthcare communities and other communities around our nation. Ruby put together then a little video to show students, and we'll probably use it for faculty too, how to properly wear a mask. Because if you're not used to wearing a mask, it's a new thing, and it can be very uncomfortable. And there is a right way to wear a mask and a right way to take a mask off. So we wanted to educate people on how to do that. So Ruby did a very nice job putting this video together.
This happened basically because we were standing waiting for Vera to come pick up all the supplies that we had donated, and we were talking about wearing masks. And I said, well, wearing a mask, it's not just putting it on. It's where to touch, how to wear it, how to take it off. And Benjamin was there, and so he says, so that's
Very good.
what we did.
You were voluntold.
Yeah. So it's always interesting when I go to Hy-Vee or out in Puebla. My husband usually gets very upset with me because I will stop people and say, you know what? The nose outside of the mask has to cover. And he's like, please. I can have fun. So this is what I
It's hard to stop
made.
teaching.
Yeah, so the Hy-Vee managers all know me by name, and it was on 10 because I stopped for coffee. So.
I've been asked to show you a quick video of how to wear your mask appropriately and how to remove them appropriately. Putting on a mask, lots of different styles out there. You've got your cloth masks, and according to the CDC and the Department of Health, cloth masks you should not be able to see through. So when you get a cloth mask, when you make your own cloth mask, you need to hold it up to the light and make sure you cannot see through. Some masks come with a place to where you can insert a filter. That can be a paper towel, it can be a coffee filter, it could be a shop rag, something like that. They want you to have some type of filter. It helps absorb what you are breathing out and what people are breathing towards you. So this is a cloth mask. Yeah, look, it's got the guy from Frozen, like it. It's got little ties right here on the string. First thing you want to do is you want to make sure you have clean hands. So wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds or use a hand sanitizer. So you're going to take this mask. I always like to hold it by the nose. I put it over one ear and then bring it over the other. Make sure it's covering your nose and your chin. You want that totally covered. When you're wearing a cloth mask, you have to realize any mask, this is the area where you should never touch. You can touch up here, you can touch here, but you should never touch here. So let's say all of a sudden you go, oh, wrong. Now you've contaminated your hands. You need to wash your hands with soap and water or hand sanitizer. To take off a cloth mask or any type of looped mask, hold up here, grab here, come down. This will go into the laundry, remove your filter, should be washed daily. That's according to the Department of Health and to the CDC. They should be washed with an antimicrobial soap. Into the laundry they go. So that's a cloth mask. They do make disposable masks with the earpieces as well. So we're going to look at this. Which side do I wear? Well, this is orange, this is white. Orange goes away. Open up your mask. There should be a little metal bar right here. Form it over your nose. Hold it. Loop, loop, open. Again, your nose and mouth has to be covered. If you see people out in public doing this, it's not going to do any good. COVID-19 is a respiratory droplet infection, meaning you have to cover the nose and the mouth because that's where the droplets will come from, through coughing, sneezing, or even talking. Again, handle it only by the strings. This is disposable. It goes into the trash. Here's another type of mask, only it is a stringed mask. It's white on both sides, but right here there's writing. The writing goes away from your face. Open your mask, find that metal bar, take your strings, and this is going to go to the crown of your head. To get a good seal around your nose and around your mouth, crown of your head, behind your neck. There are cloth masks out there like this as well with strings. Same thing, hands have to be cleaned before you put the mask on. If you touch anywhere here, you have to wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds or hand sanitize. Because remember, this area is where you're breathing and condensation from your breath is building up. To take off a stringed mask, if it's reusable, you take it off at the top, grab here, hold, untie. For a disposable, rip, into the trash it goes. Now let's say for our health students, you're going to be working in a hospital and you're going to have some direct patient care contact. Even if it's for a patient that is not COVID-19, they may have you add one piece of protection equipment to protect yourself a little bit more when you're wearing a mask. So I'm going to put on a different style mask. This is my favorite. Gives me a little bit more room to breathe. Again, crown of the head, neck, and they're going to say we're going to have some direct patient contact, so you have to protect your eyes. They may have eye protection. It's simply a frame with a shield. You add that to your mask. That's one style. And again, rip at the bottom. Some hospitals will have a mask that has a shield attached. For these, you grab on the inside, find that, behind the shield. Hold the shield, bring it over your chin. And now you're ready to go. You can adjust just like that, and you're ready to do some direct patient-to-patient contact. So that is mask tying 101. Remember, handle by the strings. Never touch your face. If you do, always wash your hands. Follow the procedures of your facility. Your facility will have different guidelines about mask wear. you want to make sure that you understand that. Your instructors will share that with you. And when you get to the hospital or get out to your clinical site, you always want to follow protocol. Remember, it's appropriate to wear the mask when you're going to have direct contact with someone outside your family. If you're at home with your family, you shouldn't have to wear a mask. Wash your hands. If you touch your mask, wash your hands before and after putting a mask on, and then after taking the mask off. So, thank you.
So as an instructor, you learn very quickly, you have to repeat.
Yeah.
So it's repeated a lot.
That just confirms I'm
great.
doing it wrong.
So we're thinking of using this to train staff as well and faculty. And all the health students have seen it so far. Like Dr. Bell was saying that it changes daily, and so exactly. Last week, the students going to the Rivera Heart Hospital had to report with cloth mask and eye protection. This week, just a cloth mask, no eye. So it's changing all the time.
That's right. No, I think it's great.
I think
Yeah.
it's great, and all the information. I mean, as you said, as it changes daily, it's just so important for all of us to keep on top of everything. And when we're providing a service and we're partnering with outside businesses to allow our students to be there to do this, I appreciate the extra effort and put into it, but I know it's necessary. So thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have a motion to acknowledge the clinical placement?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Anything else to this Southeast Tech? Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you guys.